Well, hello again. Glad to have you back. We're still not having any success because we're currently waiting for a part to arrive that I ordered. And, you know, we're not going to just sit on our laurels waiting for this thing to arrive. No, we still have other things to do that we can accomplish until that happens. And it involves the cabinet. We have a lot of work left to do on the cabinet. We got to put the ballasts, the light ballasts in, wire them up. I want to put that door on that coin box. I got the coin box in on the other side. I got to get a couple screws to fasten it a little tighter. There was only one screw holding the whole stupid thing. So I'm going to get some nice new ones and put around. It only takes 2, 4, I think 5. One screw is holding it in, but I did go down to our local hardware store about a week and a half ago, and I told them what I had. I said, look, I've got some stuff that needs keys. And I guess it was about a month ago. And then I went back and I said, let's take a closer look at this key selection you have. And you know, this is the money box. This is the one that took that round key. You've seen those round keys. Well, I wasn't going to put a round key back in there. I want a key that I can use and it looks good and open it up anytime I want. You don't need round keys for that. Just a regular old key. Anyway, besides the round key they're selling, they want $17.50 plus shipping. Who wants to pay $17.50 plus shipping for a round key just so it looks original? Not going to happen. Not with me, anyway. I was able to get 3 of these utility locks with the long. They have the long. Let me see if I can. Yeah, they have the long thing you can get. It comes with. It also comes with the short one, like you see right here. You know, which is the one I had to use, and it has a round wooden ring that comes with it that you put on the inside of. Focus there. You put them on the inside of the wood. And then you run your, tap them in and then run your lock through the hole, and that gives you something to tighten the nut against on the other side. So I'm a little fuzzy here today. There we go. Anyway, just to show you that this thing does work. Now I did have to ream out the hole with my moto tool on both sides of this thing, just a little bit, not much. I took the moto tool, ran it through the hole. This is aluminum, heavy aluminum too. And I ruined one of the grinding wheels doing it, but I shaved it off left and right, back and forth on both sides of this thing until the lock slipped right in. It wasn't a big deal. The whole thing took me about 10 minutes. So what we're going to do, you can set this lock up to turn 90 degrees or 180. I've got it for 90. And then we'll just go ahead, now that I've got the money box in, I have something to turn it to. There you go. See there? Isn't that cool? That looks pretty sharp, doesn't it? Let me show you where the next lock's going to go. Our next lock will require, I think, the use of this right here. It'll be going on the lid when the lid comes down. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to use this or not. But even if I don't, I'm going to put some kind of a deal in there so I don't have just a hole through the wood. If all I do is put a lock all the way through and then just put the nut on the back so it looks like there's something there. What the heck, but I'm hoping I can do it, but I just don't know, because this is identical to the other one. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, by the way, I didn't tell you how much I paid. All 3 of these locks, they wanted the one lock with the round key, they wanted $17.50 plus shipping. I managed to get all 3 of these locks for just 19 bucks. So, shop around, folks. Here's where the other one's going to go. We're going to go ahead and stick it right in here like so. Just like that. And I've got a metal ring. I'll tell you what, let me get that metal ring. We'll go back and put that baby on there, make it look even spiffier. Yeah, look at there. Yeah, that's going to look really slick once I get it in there. Whether it's functional or not won't matter, not to me. The next guy may have a heart attack over it. I don't plan to. We'll go ahead and stick that baby in there. Doesn't that look neat? That looks really cool, doesn't it? And the last lock we're going to put on the back door, which is also something we will be working on this week while we wait for the part to arrive. That flat washer-like metal ring I told you about that goes on the inside of the padlock that the nut tightens against, this is what they look like once they're tapped into the wood. They have spikes on the back side, 4 of them. You just tap them in. This is one that I'll be putting here. I haven't got it tapped in yet. The old one, for some reason, wasn't there. I don't know why, but what I'll do, I can't put it in the original holes. The holes are too big, so I'll have to turn it a little bit and tap it in, but the nut's not on either. But that's the way that goes right there. Alright, enough with the locks already. This is the back door. For those of you who have been watching this video series from the beginning, you'll remember it had a bent door on it. Still there, I haven't messed with it at all. And it's a little bent up here too as well. And somebody pushed it back too far. And hopefully this thing is going to fit. I don't know. It's a very tight squeeze between the frame that this thing mounts to, which is that right there, needs to be cleaned and painted. The frame, it's a very tight squeeze between the edge of the frame and the wood. Ugh, I don't know. And of course this has to sit between the wood and the frame, so I don't know if I'm going to have enough room. If I don't have enough room, I may have to shave off some wood off the back of that cabinet. Wouldn't that be a bummer at this stage of the game? But I'm going to do what I have to do. So right now we're just going to straighten this out the old-fashioned way. I'm going to flip it upside down. I'm going to put it on that towel right there. I'm just going to start tapping with a hammer with a piece of wood, and hopefully it'll straighten out, you know, as best I can get it to straighten out. It's not going to be perfect, because when metal bends, it stretches. Alright, there's a piece of wood. It's going to take a big old hammer. Now, of course, I'm not going to slam it. You know, I'm just going to tap it, but I need something really wide, and I could use a ball peen hammer or something like that, but I don't want to do it that way this time. I will if I have to, but we're going to try just tapping it with this and see how it goes. Well, I've got all the dent out as best I can find. I think I got it all, but you know, there's always going to be some in there. But it looks a whole lot better. I'm going to go ahead now and wash it on both sides, clean it up. And I think all I'm going to do is give it a clear coat. Now, it's possible I could put some flat black on it, but that right now that's, I don't know, that's not in the queue. I think just a satin clear coat will take care of it, inside and out. Anyway, here's the lock that was on the back door. You remember everybody said it looks like the key got broken off or something. This went through from the other side and came up this way. Okay, so it's like this. Well, when I took it off and I separated all the parts off the back and everything, and I took it off, I got looking at that silly thing and I said, boy, that's a strange looking deal. It looks broken, but then again, it does not look broken. Let me zoom in here a little bit. I say it looks broken, but it doesn't look broken. I don't know. So I kept farting around with it. I put a pair of pliers on it, and just to see if it would turn, you know, the center mechanism as if it were locking the door. And this is what happened. The thing came right out with the pliers. It came right off. And on this end here, we had this. Well, what the heck is that? Well, I'll tell you what that is. That's a key that fits the old round holes. Cha-dung! Now this frame, we're just going to go ahead and clean it up, and then we're going to get rid of the rust. It would have been a prime candidate for my sandblaster I bought a few months ago. But unfortunately, it's raining today, it's going to rain tomorrow, it's going to rain the day after, and I don't want to wait. I want to get it done. There'll be plenty of time to get that sandblaster operational this spring or summer, or maybe even fall. Not a big deal, you know, it's nice to have, but I don't need it for everything. So we're going to go ahead and de-rust. There's a lot of rust here. Once I get it scrubbed up and cleaned up, it'll look a little better. That's about the only place down in the corner. We have a little bit down there. Not anything to amount to much. Let's flip it over and look at the other side. Well, the other side doesn't look too bad. Not much rust at all. Just kind of dirty. A few scrape marks and all. Everything looks pretty good to me. I'm kind of glad to see that. I'm tired of removing rust. One other thing I want to show you. On the other side, at the top of the mechanism, you'll see this thing here, nice and straight and flat. This is where the chassis goes underneath, you know, like so. This keeps it from falling out. Over here, this one has been bent. I don't understand that at all. At first, when I looked at it, I said, man alive, that thing is bent. But you know, it's bent evenly on both sides. I don't see any teeth marks from any pliers. I don't see anything. So I've made a determination that that's the way it's supposed to be. And probably because, again, you know, it holds your chassis in, keeps it from coming out. It's probably like that. So when you put the back chassis in, this would be the hinge part of the door. When you lay your chassis in, you have to put it in at like an angle like so. And if this were straight like that, you'd never get it underneath there. Okay? So this curve is there, I think, and to enable you to get more of a, of a space to get that chassis in there. There's only one on the top, and it's only there to hold it, to keep it in, but it has to be curved like that in order to put it in and take it out. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And one more thing has been repaired on the mech, or the mechanism, the upper light that shines through that little glass that tells you which record is being played, like A3 or K6 or whatever, shines through the little glass, and that light needed to be repaired. The socket was broken completely, but it's all fixed now. Well, folks, it's the next day, and as you can see, everything's piled on top of the bench. And everything is up off the floor, down in this area here, off our shelves, stacked up, piled up wherever I could find a spot to include out in the garage and in the back of my pickup truck. According to the weather, we got a real good chance of getting 2 to 3 inches of rain tonight. Massive storms. Remember last year we got 2 to 3 inches, and we wound up with a foot of water in the shop. Last year, the most of the water came in through our garage doors. It just went right in underneath it. So the only thing I have to help seal it are some old shingles. I just put a double layer all the way across. Then we'll bring down the old garage door and latch her shut here. And hopefully that'll stop some of it. It may not stop it all. Stop some. There we go. She's sealed the best I can seal her. Let's hope we don't get any rain at all. That would be the best thing. And of course, the thing we're most concerned about is our old juke. It's too heavy for me to lift up for a foot high. So what do? Well, I'm going to lay a tarp down on the floor, and then I'm going to roll it over on top of the tarp. Then we're going to pull the sides of the tarp up as high as we can go and just tape them in place. Hopefully that'll do it. Well, that's it for now, guys. Everything I can get up off the floor is off the floor. And now we have this baby all wrapped up like a little Christmas present. I think we'll be good to go. Hopefully we won't have any flooding, but if we do, I've done my very best to keep everything in good order when it happens. Last item on the list is to take this small sledgehammer and pound these things in, one in each corner, to keep the wood in place, because you'll remember last year when it wound up everywhere. I had to chase it all over the neighborhood. And we're going to have some, 2 of them in this box here. That one over there already has some where the tomato plants grow. And then we'll just sit and wait to see what happens. Hopefully we'll be back to the jukebox soon. Well, it's about 8:30 at night. As you can see, it has already started. Ugh, close the door. And that's what it looks like crashing through the state. We're located right where that hand is right there. So we're kind of on the fringe of it, but as long as it keeps moving the way it is, we may not get a ton of rain. But if it starts to move to the east, we're screwed. There's a lot of rain in the middle there, let me tell you. Well, it's the next morning, and look at there. We're still under the gun with rain. There's Arkansas right there. It just go right through the middle. Let's see what the future holds here. Oh, man. There's even more coming. Let's go outside and see what it looks like. Well, I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign, but at least the water's not up to the door. There's no telling what happened last night. We're pretty well flooded again. But it's that time of year in Arkansas. We get a lot of rain prior to spring and now all the way through spring. It's still raining, and we're just going to have to brave the elements and go open the door and see what it looks like. Well, here goes. Oh, I'm happy to say there is no water inside. Well, that's wonderful. Let me go out and check the garage. Well, look at there. No water in the garage either. All right, we survived. But there's a long ways to go yet. Well, folks, I wanted to put more into this video. I wanted to at least get the ballasts for the fluorescent lights put in the cabinet. Can't make it. It's still raining. It's slowed down a little bit, but we got 3.5 inches of rain last night, according to the news. And today's Wednesday. By Saturday, we're supposed to get 3 inches more. So I'm not about to put everything back on the floor and unwrap the juke and Won't be able to get to it until Sunday, so I'm just going to go ahead and wrap the video up here and upload it and tell you I guess I'll see you next week. It's best I can do. Until next time, this is John.